Hello and welcome to Wingin It, and welcome back to another video. In this one today we are going to be taking a look at some starting hand situations and discussing my approach to the starting hands here on the Oceania expansion. So I've done a few videos like this in the past. I'll link to the most recent one in the top right hand corner where I took an initial look at the Oceania starting hands and talked a little bit about my approach and some strategies that I like to employ and things I like to look for. So if you haven't seen that one already, I would recommend checking that out. That does contain a little bit more detail about the thought process and about some of those decisions going into the starting hand. So I won't go too much into detail there. But in summary, we're basically looking for those cheap brown powers. We're looking for birds that can help get off habitat resources. And I think in particular, on these Oceania boards, we're going to be taking a look at trying to get some eggs. Because I think anyone who's played a few games of Oceania will know with the different boards, eggs can be definitely challenging to get hold of. So I'm going to go through 3 different starting hand scenarios and talk through my thought process, talk through what I'd be keeping in each situation. And then after that, I'm going to pick one and go back and play through that first round and see where we are going to end up at the end of that first round. And I want to hear from you in each scenario what you would be keeping. So I recommend what you do in each one is pause the video when we get the starting hand coming up. Think about what you would keep, maybe write it down in a comment, and then resume the video and see if what I'm going to do is the same as you or different. And then let me know in the comments. Definitely interested to hear all the different approaches to these starting hand scenarios. So as I say, we're going to jump here into a game. We're going to go against the AI here, so make sure we've got all the expansions included, and we're going to jump here into this one. So going second, and of course going first and going second can make a bit of a difference in what you're going to keep in these starting hands. So we'll see in this case what the AI is going to keep and what we are going to get in the starting hand. So we'll open it up, and that is a very interesting starting hand for sure. So as I say, pause the video now and have a think about what you would keep. But in terms of what I would keep, I definitely like the look of Pileated Woodpecker. So this is such a strong bird in the Oceania. Certainly on these boards where eggs are so difficult to get hold of, being able to get 2 of them in the forest, very, very powerful. So definitely liking that. And you need to think about, when you're keeping Pileated Woodpecker, what other birds are you going to keep, and make sure you've got some cavity nests. So something like this Eastern Phoebe could be really, really powerful just with all those extra egg spaces. Of course, you've got to lay eggs on 2 different birds with Pileated Woodpecker, so lots of egg space on that Phoebe could definitely come in handy. Now, as I say, we are going second, so we're not going to get first dibs on the trade, but it is definitely worth looking at, and I like the look of this house sparrow very much as well. So again, lots more egg space. And pretty good with the forest engine. If you are going to be getting extra food, getting some seeds, you can turn those into points with that teal power. But equally, I'm looking at this American Robin, and to be honest, I think that's probably going to be gone. I think in most scenarios here, if you're against a human player, they're going to be picking up American Robin. That is a very, very strong bird, and I think especially in the forest here with Pileated Woodpecker, you get that card cycle, you get more points in that forest. And that is very, very strong indeed. So, I think this looks pretty good. Just a word on the Chiff Chaff. This can also be pretty powerful and could potentially be one I look at keeping here as well, to be honest, just to get in that wetlands. It's really the only bird I'd look at playing in the wetlands. Probably not this Grey Lagoose, although I will say, in defense of Grey Lagoose, it does actually work for 2 of these end of round goals. So that could be tempting. I feel like with these teal powers, they're always disappointing, but I think if you can get 2 end of round goals that work, that can definitely be a good way of getting some extra points. So might be something I'll look at. We'll take a look at the bonus card. So Anatomist, of course, one I'm not so much used to seeing on the online game. And it could potentially be one we look at, but I like Omnivore. 9 times out of 10, that is going to be the right one to keep here. So obviously not get anything that hits that, but 2 points a time, plenty of good birds that work for that. So it would be very, very tempting. So we'll take a quick look at the feeder, because sometimes that determines your approach as well. Okay, we have got some nectar, we've got some seeds. So if I was to go for something like that house sparrow, I think that could work pretty well. But yeah, in all honesty, I'd be quite tempted to keep something like this. So I think we want to keep the depleted woodpecker food. Of course, what you can do on that first turn on these Oceania boards, discard the nectar, draw 2 cards. I think most of the time, if you are drawing, you want to be doing that. So I think I would look to do that. As I say, if the robin's there, I'm grabbing that. Certainly that house sparrow as well is going to be pretty high on my priority list. But yeah, I think get some of these birds down. Phoebe's going to be great for the egg space. Grey lag goose for those end around goals potentially. And just getting something down in the wetlands to get a bit more card draw going. So I quite like that as a starting hand. We are going to lock that in. And there we go. As is tradition, I think, with the AI, maybe not quite picking up the good birds in the tray, but I think regardless, this would be a good start. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Is that what you would have kept? Would you have gone for something different? But in the meantime, we are going to go ahead and jump into another game here. And all right, here we go. Starting hand, scenario number 2. We are going first in this one. So let's jump in and see what we've got in the starting hand. It's another very interesting one. So this one might be a little bit more straightforward. But again, as with the first one, pause the video. Think about what you would keep here. We'll take a look at the tray as well. In case that's going to make you change your mind. But yeah, I think for me, it's very, very straightforward. Keep the wood duck and don't really think too hard about anything else. So yeah, wood duck, one of the best birds in the game now with the Oceania. It was already one of the best birds in the game, but it's probably even better now, I'd say, on these Oceania boards. Of course, with that starting nectar, you can keep nectar, berry, and seed and get it down turn 1. You get 2 cards, discard 1, but you're getting 2 food as well at the same time. So that's just such a strong opening bird to get down. And I'd probably keep the Kia as well. This is really, really nice. Again, if you're going Forest Engine, if you're getting loads of food, play this late in the game, discard a bunch of food. Can be really helpful for winning a nectar battle as well. If you get loads of nectar, discarding nectar through this power counts as spending. So you can try and get some extra points there, and that is definitely a nice option to go with. So honestly, not too enthused by the tray, but I don't think it matters too much here when you've got wood duck. And probably what I would be doing in this situation as well is keeping an extra card now. I'm not that interested in any of these. I think the Fairy Wren, it situationally could be good later, depending on if we find more Star Nest birds. I mean, it does help for 2 of those in a round goal, so if we're thinking about trying to qualify for those, you know, sometimes just getting something down in the grasslands could be handy. But what I'm more thinking here is that food's not going to be a problem. I think once this wood duck is down, we're going to get loads of food. Sometimes having a spare card is quite handy because, you know, you're drawing 2, discarding 1. You're actually only gaining 1 each time. So sometimes you can end up in sort of a good problem to have where you're drawing so many good cards that you've got to discard some of them. So sometimes having this extra card early on just gives you that bit more flexibility, where if better stuff does come up, you can work with that. And yeah, you could already keep the food for the wood duck, get that down. And I think the cards are going to be the problem more than the food, certainly in this early game. So we'll take a quick look at the feeder. Plenty of nectar, that's what we want to see. And we should be able to get our hands on most of that. But yeah, so I think quite straightforward. We'll take a look at the bonus card as well. Ethologist, I think, is a pretty strong pick here. Certainly when you go in wood duck, you know, you're trying to get brown powers in the forest and you're trying to play all the different coloured powers in the other habitats. So should be able to get 4, 6, or maybe even 8 points off of this Ethologist. So I say, I think that feels pretty straightforward. We'll lock that in. And yeah, this might be one we come back to at the end of the video. Maybe not, but yeah, let me know your thoughts on this starting hand in the comments. What would you have kept? Would you have gone for the extra card or the extra food? Would you have not even gone for the wood duck? Maybe slightly controversial, but do let me know. But again, in the meantime, we're going to go through to our third and final starting hand scenario of this video. And okay, here we go. Jumping into this one. We're going first again here. So let's come and take a look. We've already had 2 pretty strong starts. Are we going to make it 3 for 3 here? To be fair, I think we are here. So we got lots of brown powers, lots of good options that we like to see. And Black-throated Diver is very, very high up the list of birds I like to see in the starting hand. Such a good power here. Being able to move that trait in the early game, see more cards, pick the best ones. Such a strong power. And again, kind of like the wood duck that we talked about in the previous scenario here, this double food cost, having the nectar at the start, just helps get this down so much more quickly than on the baseboard. So that is a big positive. And yeah, I like all the rest of these birds. I mean, Goldcrest is certainly interesting when you're drawing lots of extra cards here. With the diver, being able to use this power in the forest, that can be a strong combination. But often what I find when you go Goldcrest is that you can run out of eggs. It can be quite difficult. Not anymore here. We've got Grasshopper Sparrow, which, yeah, honestly, I think this is a bird that is a lot better now on the Oceania board. So not really something I would have looked too closely at on the baseboards. But here, just getting that first bird down in the grasslands, you're already suddenly getting 2 eggs, and Grasshopper Sparrow giving you a 3rd. That can definitely be handy. So we'll take a quick look at the tray here. So nothing too interesting. Maybe the Tui could be one that we look at. Maybe something we might have to think about blocking, or maybe even playing with the Goldcrest and copying something that our opponent has played. That could definitely be a lot of fun. The Little Bustard's certainly not a bad play either. We'll take a quick look. Our bonus cards, okay, Visionary Leader. Yeah, not really one that you look at too closely. And Cartographer, again, kind of like the Anatomist before, not one I'm too used to seeing or having to think about picking in these sort of games. So yeah, I think from our proposed keep, we probably wouldn't be going too hard on Cartographer, but to be honest, I think it's a better pick than Visionary Leader, especially, yeah, going Goldcrest, you're going to be wanting to discard a bunch of cards there in order to get those birds down. So I think we do something like this. And yeah, we might have to get a bit creative, of course. Would be nice to be able to keep the extra food here so I could play all these birds, but we're not going to be able to do that. So it might be a case of play the diver, do a bit of digging, but I think Goldcrest and Sparrow in some combination, some order that we can get those down, I think that'll be strong. And yeah, Cartographer feels pretty straightforward. So I am going to lock that one in. And as with the other scenarios, do let me know in the comments how you would have approached this starting hand. And as I said at the start, we're going to pick one of these, and I think I'm going to pick this one as the one that we're going to play through, because Pellucid Woodpecker, Wood Duck, we all know how good those are. We all know the approach with those, but I think this is a little bit more of an interesting starting hand. So I think, yeah, I think turn number 1 here, we're going to play this diver. And we're going to just use this to do that bit of digging, because who knows, maybe we find better stuff. Maybe we find alternatives here to the Goldcrest and the Sparrow. We'll only know if we do that bit of digging. So opponent's gone and played Pine Siskin. So to be honest, that could actually be a pretty good one to be copying with the Tui, with some extra cards, being able to get a bit more food as well to play these birds with the Goldcrest. So I think I will pick that up. Let's see what else you find. Willy Wagtail, okay. Certainly another interesting bird. That could be a lot of fun here, but let's use this diver power. So this is the strength here, resetting this tray and being able to pick something here. And these are some pretty good options, to be fair. Red-winged parrot with the Goldcrest as well, to maybe get yourself some eggs to be able to play those birds. That can be a lot of fun, but Eastern Rosella, likewise, a good way of getting more food. I think we're going to go with the parrot here. That could be... yeah, that could make for a very interesting combo, indeed, to go in that forest. So, Blue-winged Warbler has just popped up. I think that is definitely one I want to go and grab. That's the kind of bird normally I think you're looking for with Goldcrest. You want to play those big point birds in the forest, get them down really easily. So we'll grab that, go off the top. And we're not going to find too much interesting there, but Plains Wanderer I do definitely like as a grassland play late in the game. Does it hit the Cartographer actually? I think it might do. It does. Has the word plains in it, so there we go. That would get us some extra points there, but yeah, this is such a strong play to keep for late in the game, as I say, and get that down. So certainly I think more appealing than these other ones. So yeah, we've got some options here for sure. And I think 5 turns left. This is where I need to start planning out. This is where I need to think about this end of round goal as well. Certainly with the Pine Siskin going down over there with the AI, they've already got 2 birds with seeds, or 2 seeds in their food cost, I should say. And that's definitely going to be interesting. But okay, I think there is something we can do here. So 5 turns left. If we played, I think we'd play Goldcrest first. We're not going to be able to use it straight away. But I think that's okay, because I think the plan would be just use that to get a bit more food. Of course, that first forest bed down means you can suddenly get 2 food in the forest. And I think if we played the Goldcrest, we could take food. We could play the Grasshopper Sparrow, lay eggs. We could then take food again and look at playing one of these two. And honestly, playing this Red-winged Parrot would be very, very tempting. Just, as a way of getting eggs, but also sometimes using that to get extra food to play some more expensive birds with Goldcrest is pretty nice. Tui as well. I still think that could be good for copying Pine Siskin with some of these extra cards. And definitely, I think, looking at this hand, I think probably Willy Wagtail, I think that can go. That can be fun with Goldcrest, but there's only so many times you can use that power, and it is a bit hit and miss. And I think as well this Brown Falcon is another one I would look at getting rid of. So we will play Goldcrest here. And yeah, we'll go ahead and grab a couple of food there. We're being left 1 nectar, which is nice. We'll get a reroll. We'll get even more nectar to go with it. So as I say, we're going to skip the Goldcrest here. We can't use it on this turn. That's okay. Because we do still want to be, playing some other birds. So, okay, Clark's Group. So honestly, this is not a bad start here for the AI. They focused on the brown powers. They've done all the right things. Got yourself food going. You've got yourself some card access, and you've got yourself a grass and bird to help get more eggs. So honestly, can't knock what they're doing. But I'm hoping that what we're going to be doing is a little bit better. So yeah, let's get this Grasshopper Sparrow down. So as I say, not a great bird on the base boards, but I think certainly a lot better here on these Oceania boards. We're suddenly going to be getting 3 eggs when we lay eggs, which is really good. So we're going to sort of look a little bit ahead to that 3rd end around goal. Might be a bit too far ahead, but we've got flexibility on where we can lay these eggs. So I think we may as well. And yeah, now that we've got some eggs down, we can go ahead, take food. We're going to grab these 2 nectars, use this Goldcrest power. So I think probably the Brown Falcon is the one I'd be getting rid of here. Now, I think Red-winged Parrot. I think if I'm looking ahead, if I'm thinking about what I want to be doing with this Goldcrest, sometimes getting eggs to play the Goldcrest birds is helpful. Sometimes getting more food is also more helpful. So I think this Red-winged Parrot can be particularly potent here, and it is going to help for this end of round goal as well. And getting some extra points there could be pretty nice here. So we'll see what the AI is going to do on their last turn. They've not managed to match us, so extra points on the end of round goal. Very, very nice. So yeah, there we go. That was the end of our round 1. I think we got a pretty solid foundation here. So if I'm looking towards the rest of this game, I'm looking at this end of round goal, birds in hand. I think we can just keep digging, use this diver, see what comes up, use this Goldcrest to play some birds. We're in a good position going 2nd in this end of round, so potentially we can draw cards on that last round. We can use this parrot to give away a nectar on that last turn, and it's not going to cost us. That could be a nice thing to think about. But yeah, got some good options in hand. Plains Wanderer for later. Blue-eared Warbler for another nice forest play. So I think this is a pretty good foundation. This is a pretty good setup. And I think Goldcrest front and center here. This is really going to be the start of the show in this game. And just to show you how this game played out, you can see here the final board. And I got to say, I'm very happy with how this one played out. Kind of went exactly to plan. With the Goldcrest and the Parrot down, we're able to get lots of good birds in the forest. So Oriole, Warbler, and then even that European Goldfinch, picking up a few tucks along the way. That was really, really nice. That just accelerated the build in the forest, getting loads of food. Did use that parrot a few times to get some eggs as well, which really accelerated getting things going. And then just, yes, with some of that extra food coming through, managed to get quite a nice grass and going. So ended up being a 9-point grasses at the end. 4 eggs, 2 tucks on the galah, tuck and an egg on the swift, and then an egg with the sparrow as well. So we definitely did that digging in round 2. We were able to win that 2nd end of round goal. And yeah, just give ourselves lots of good options to work with. And that helped out. So Plains Wanderer at the end came through, delivered on the Anatomist. We had a bit of a mishap thanks to the Turtle Dove, but those things happen. I think being able to get 14 points off those 2 bonus cards was pretty strong. And yeah, just enabled a strong score in the end. 134, as I say. Definitely happy with that. That's the power of Goldcrest, really. Being able to win all the nectar as well, I think with the parrot, being able to reset that bird feeder quite regularly, get more nectar going, we definitely didn't have too many issues there. So yeah, that hopefully shows the strength of making the right choices in that starting hand and then being able to follow through with a sound strategy throughout the rest of the game. And so there we go. Those were a few starting hand scenarios, and of course playing through that final one, that first round at least, and then showing the strength of that starting hand in the end. So hopefully you found that useful. As I say, please do let me know in the comments below what you would have kept in each situation, if you would have done something different. Was there something I missed? Was there maybe a different approach that could have been taken? Always interested to hear those. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do let me know. Please do make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, so you can stay up to date with the channel and with all of the videos incoming. And I hope to see you in one of those upcoming videos very, very soon.